Welcome to the Experience Live with Russ and Scott. Join us every Wednesday at 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern, on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. Learn more about the Experience community by pointing your browser to local.theexperience.video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. The Experience is brought to you each week by these great sponsors. The Aspects of Aging, weekly talk show with Christine A. Smith, unscripted conversations with experts, AgingBetterNetwork.com. Nancy Bakke and Best Entrepreneur Solutions. Transform your business's profit potential with proven strategies and tactics. BestEntrepreneursolutions.com. Perspectives on Cancer. In-person event on October 5th and 6th in New York City, which brings together cancer patients, survivors, and supporters to share their stories, be inspired and supported by others in a safe space. The theme for the event is education and inspiration for healing, hope, and resilience. PerspectivesOnCancer.com. And now, your hosts for the Experience Live, Russ and Scott.
Hey everybody, woohoo! Here we are at the Experience Live with Russ and Scott. And man, every Wednesday morning, Scott, I am so glad to have my friend Scott there by my side. It really starts my day off right. Thank you.
Well, we're fortunate we get to hang out together. And as always, we get the most remarkable people on the planet. Today is no exception.
We do, for sure. Absolutely. Unfortunately, to really hang out with you for coffee, I have to travel a lot further now. But yeah, our guests were saying, what prompted your move? And I wasn't here at the moment. I heard you guys talking, and I was going to chime in. He was trying to move away from me. Anyway,
man,
hey, listen, every week we're here at 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time on the Experience Live with Russ and Scott. This show, now we've been going how many years, Scott?
It's about 3 3/4 years.
Right, and we're on season 7, which actually. Yes, I know. And I just noticed that I've got to update my background. But anyway, that's a whole nother thing. So we are in episode 7, everybody. And you can see that right here. Look at that. Season 7, the Experience. That's right. So, but Scott, I really want you to give everybody a little update on what you've been doing, where you are, and are you getting settled in?
Yeah, absolutely. So we came into Waco, Texas about a couple weeks ago, I guess. And there is no correlation between moving and settling, right? We've got all the stuff moved in, but settling is going to take a while. But the big thing for us is starting a new radio program, the Waco Experience, an American Story, will be broadcast on KBBW. So the legendary 1010 AM in Waco, but also in the greater Waco area, all the way out to Dallas and Austin on the FM translators. So I'll be interviewing leaders in business, government, and nonprofits. These are people who want to make a nice community, but they all have different tool sets. And it's based on my experience of being on the Chamber of Commerce board.
Wow. I'm telling you that you are full of wisdom. And I can attest to that for how much you've meant to me and still mean to me and all that was going on. So, well, that's so awesome. Well, listen, before we get our guest in, I just want to once again remind everybody that we're here at 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time every week. And we're here for your video and your audio pleasure. That's right. This show actually streams live at 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, but also it then becomes a video podcast. It sits on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook forever. Then, wait, there's more. Then it becomes an audio podcast, and you can actually listen. If you don't have time to watch, you go to iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, whatever your favorite podcast platform is, and actually listen. So if you're walking, jogging, putting on your makeup, having your coffee, whatever, you can listen. So there you go. So many amazing ways to do that. And we just appreciate everybody here. I want to tell you that it's easy to find out more about Scott and I because he created this little nifty landing page, local.theexperience.video, all about the experience. So not only the experience live on Wednesdays, but also local, the experience local, which is on Mondays at 9 a.m. Pacific Daily Time, and soon to have the Waco experience going on with Scott. So we have all kinds of stuff that we have for you there. And also, if you just want to jump straight to our YouTube page, we'd love for you to subscribe. You can just go to the experience.video. You'll find that on the other link. But if you want to just go straight there, you can go to the experience.video and subscribe today. So with that, Scott, I think it's ready to jump in. Time to jump in and
let's get to the good stuff.
Get to the good stuff. You know, Tonya and Michael with BrandFace are amazing. And Tonya and I were just having a talk a while back. That's what prompted them coming back on this show. So let's just get them in. Here they are. Welcome, Tonya and Michael.
Hey guys.
Good to see you guys.
Hey guys.
You guys are just such a pleasure to get a chance to talk with. And, you know, I feel like after my last chat with Tonya, you know, you've really given me some wisdom about all that I'm doing. But let's start from the get-go and just say, hey, who is Tonya and Michael? What are you guys up to? What are you all about?
Okay, cool. Oh, I'll start that one then.
Yes, please.
All right. So BrandFace was born in about 2013, and it stemmed from going back, dial it all the way back to 1988, guys, to my first foray into the media world. I stepped into the media world. I was green. I was young. I did not know what I was doing, and I was having doors slammed in my face left and right. And I realized then if I wanted people to perceive me differently, I needed to change the way I presented myself. So I began approaching my clients very differently. I became one of the first radio salespeople in the country to have my own website. Fast forward about a year and a half later, things were working really, really well. It was doing so well for me. And I thought, hey, if this works for me, it can work for my clients. So I began bringing clients into the studio, helping them craft their story, their message, their call to action, get their name out there. And as a result, a lot of business celebrities were born. And so that has really been the common thread through everything I did up until 2013. And around the time that BrandFace was born, I met this gentleman.
Yeah, and I'll pick it up from there. I've been a serial entrepreneur all my life. I worked for a company for about 6 months out of high school, and then started off on my own. My original craft and still love is being an auctioneer. And my mentor told me to get my real estate license. I might make a little extra money over the years, and over time that ended up happening. And when I opened up a brokerage here in north of Atlanta, the lady that helped me open it up 2 weeks after we opened, she said, okay, our marketing stinks. We need help marketing. You need to talk to my niece, Tonya. And I sort of ignored that. And then Tonya finally didn't let me ignore it. And she called me. She said, I don't know if I'm supposed to call you. You're supposed to call me. And I was really mean to her. This is, I actually enjoy this part of the story because I was so wrong about it. And I told her, I said, look, I've had 4 others just like you, and I don't need another one. And she said, you've never had anybody like me, and you absolutely have to have me. And she ended up being correct. I have found she's pretty much been correct ever since. But she sold me marketing, and she taught me branding. And for the 20 years that I was in business before her, I did good. I did really good. But then the 10 years after, we've done phenomenal in the real estate business by applying BrandFace principles. And I literally just listened to what she told me and just said, okay, she sounds like a very intelligent person. And I think that she's right. So I'm going to go along with whatever she says. And I did so well, she asked me to be a partner in the company. And now I'm blessed enough to not only have a real estate brokerage, but to help her and thousands of others apply the BrandFace principles to any kind of service facing business, authors, coaches, speakers. And it's been a fantastic foray into.
I love that you're sharing your journey there and into entrepreneurship, and it's a great path. And I recommend for people to go out like yourself and get some work experience in the workplace and then translate it. And apparently 6 months is all you need. So well done on that. But, Tonya, Russ had mentioned that he had a conversation with you, and a lot of the stuff that we do here on the experience is we talk about the kinds of things that you do and the types of customers that you work with. I want to throw this out as maybe a surprise to Russ and to you, but to say, let's actually look a little workshopping and kind of go back and revisit some of the conversations that you had with Russ to help him in his branding. And then the people that are listening, I know will be able to translate that and apply it to their business, but specifically then go, this is why you hire a professional like BrandFace. So if you want to maybe pick it up with some of that conversation.
Yeah. So Russ and I recently, he reached out to me because he's doing he's really upping his speaker game, and he has something coming up with, I can't remember the organization, but you guys showed it in your intro video.
Perspectives on Cancer. Yeah.
Perspectives on Cancer. He's going to be a speaker at that event coming up soon. And he wanted to reach out to me and just ask me any questions about how to present himself, how to present the topic, how to really focus in on that topic. And that's really what we had the most recent call about. And I think positioning, as we say, is like, positioning is everything, right? You really want to make sure you position yourself the way that you want to be perceived, because 98% of people will actually meet your brand before they meet you. Think about that for a minute. Like if you're a client, and then I'll hand it back over to you, Russ, and you can fill in the blanks. But if you are reaching out to prospects, okay, when you get in front of a prospect face to face, like a Zoom call, or you're actually on the phone, or you're in a face to face meeting, you have the opportunity at that point in time to communicate the things that you really want to communicate, things you're passionate about, exactly what you do, what sets you apart. You get to dig into their story. So that one-to-one is very, very important. But how many of us don't even get an opportunity to have the one-to-ones? Why are you not getting that opportunity? It's usually because you haven't positioned yourself to get that opportunity. And that brand needs to be a clone of you that people meet before they actually get to meet you, so that by the time they do get to meet you, they're familiar with you and what you are, what you stand for. And that's really why it's so important out front, and why Russ reached out and wanted to know, okay, how do I present myself in this manner?
Yeah, that was totally right. I mean, it's all about if you're out there and you're listening today and you're thinking, I really know what my purpose in life is. I know what I want to do. I know what God has created me to do and all of this, but it just doesn't seem to be happening. I think positioning is a perfect word, Tonya, and that is just a matter of, why are people not knocking on your door all the time, right? And I think that was the bottom line that I just wanted to have a discussion with Tonya about, because she's really the expert in this area and gave me some great advice on how to shape that, because I'm going through not a change in my branding and what I am, I'm going through a refocus. So I'm refocusing from all the things I was doing into really pushing the speaker. And that honestly is coming about because of my cancer journey, because of all the things that are going on. I am also limited in the amount of other things that I can do. And so I want to be able to focus in and do the things that I think really God has put me here to do, but do them better and refocus myself better and position myself better. And so Tonya, I'm telling you, within a short conversation, she was like, boom, 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 had all kinds of great ideas. And I really, really appreciate you both. So let me throw this back at a question to you two again. And that is, there's so many people out there, they don't even really understand branding, and they definitely think they can figure it out on their own. And I can tell everybody, I have been in sales and marketing and doing a lot of this type of stuff for years, but no matter how good you think you are, there's always somebody either better or that you should be partnering with that looks outside of your box, right? I'm only looking inside of my box. I needed Tonya to look outside of my box as to what I was doing. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think I'll start. She'll clean up. Right. That was my journey also. So many people have an expertise, and like you said, Russ, they even know what their passion is or what they want to do, but branding's not their foray. That's not what they do. That's not their profession. My grandpa always said, you can't beat a man at his own game. Right. And so the point that he was making to me was find whoever does it best and let them do that. Right. What was the president that said that? And don't mess with them while they're doing it. And so people think that, oh, I can go to AI or I can just, and I can get a logo and then I can build a brand. And it's so much more detailed than that. And in like my journey, I was a marketer. I knew how to market, but my marketing was all over the place and I didn't have a story. I wasn't pointed at an ideal customer. My brand didn't answer the 5 questions that every brand ought to answer for the reasons that Tonya talked about to begin with. And I'll let her clean up my garble right there, but I'm in the same boat as you, Russ. Like, it wasn't what I did. That wasn't my game. My game was in a different expertise, and she was able to point that at my ideal customers, and that was the transformation.
Yeah, that's what we say is only do what only you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Now I want to know, what are these 5 questions?
All right. They are, number 1, who do you serve? Exactly who. Number 2, how do you serve them? 3, what qualifies you to serve them? 4, how does it make their life better? And 5, what makes you different from everyone else who is also trying to serve that same customer? And when you figure, when you figure that out, you can position from that point. Then, what Russ was talking about, it's, positioning is critical when it comes to that.
Yeah. Let me jump in there and say that one thing I think is so true, and you and I have talked about this, that one of the biggest difference makers in what you do and what I do is us. Well, it's you and me. I mean, we are our best differentiator in what we do, but that doesn't mean that you've positioned you right. Now, I spoke to another amazing friend of ours now a few years back when I started my business. And I said, you know what? I can get in front of people and I can just light them up and get them excited and woo, they're ready to go. But digitally, when I'm sending it out there, it's just not having that effect. And one thing that she had me do, which has been a big plus, put a video of yourself right at the top of your website. The minute people go, they see you. If you're the one that makes a difference, and I really want to tell everybody that you may have part of the puzzle, but that's where Tonya came in for me with the other part of the puzzle outside of my box. And Tonya, talk about that again, because those 5 things that you need are so important. And I was settling on that last one, but there's so much impact and things you can do to draw people to you that most of us aren't doing.
Yeah. So first of all, the one thing you need to pay attention to when it comes to personal branding is the moment I get to a digital platform or even a business card, a billboard, whatever that is, I need to immediately understand I need to understand what you do, how you're different in what you do, and who you serve. Even on a billboard, you should be able to communicate those kind of things, right? So if I communicate that, I know that somebody's going to take the time to hit the play button on my video, or take the time to go listen to my podcast, or take the time to download an ebook, or connect with me in any other way. So right off the bat, you've got to know that. And do you mind if I walk them through a little bit of my recommendations to you for your speaking?
Oh, no, go for it. Go for it.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Because this was a lot of fun and I really appreciate you reaching out to me so that we could kind of craft this together. But you were talking a lot about, perspective and your perspective since, your cancer diagnosis, and how really at the end of the day, everything is about perspective, right? I think it was who said the most important decision you'll make today is to be in a good mood. Some people credit it to Charlie Brown, but I don't know that it was Charlie Brown. But anyway, it is so true. It is the most important decision you'll make every single day is to be in a good mood. But it is a difficult thing to do that sometimes. So how do you then from a stage, Russ, talk about your journey and how you manage to do that every day to the best of your ability, and sharing that with other people who are going through that same thing is so critical. So when you were talking to me about this, you had different topics for your talk, and I thought those are great, but it really doesn't nail that one thing that you want to be known for from the stage. And so what we settled on was the power of perspective. because you focused a lot on passion, purpose, and people, right? And so the passion, purpose, and people, that's awesome. That's that three-legged stool of like a powerful message. But then we could take and extend the power of perspective down through all three of those. And I'm looking off to the left a little bit because I have my cheat notes here, but how your perspective impacts your passion, how your perspective impacts your purpose, and how it impacts the people around you. And
Right.
so by having just that one title and those little bullet points about what I call descriptive language about what you're going to be talking about is huge. And the subtitle of the talk was My Journey with Dementia and Cancer. And so that lets me, so right away, let's look at our own principles here. Number one, what are you all about? What do you want to be known for? Your perspective on things. Okay, who are you talking to? My journey with dementia and cancer tells me that. If I self-select and self-identify and say, okay, my grandmother has dementia right now, or I have cancer, or someone I love has cancer, I want to be part of that discussion. I want to hear what Russ has to say. And then furthermore, it's about the passion, the purpose, and the people, weaving in what you are already working on for such a long time. To me, that puts a beautiful little bow on it and lets people know, hey, this is what he's all about, and this is what he's going to be talking about. And the key is to do that in as few words as possible, because we are an attention deficit society for sure. So hopefully that helps to bring it all, to the forefront, and so everybody can understand why we pulled it into the power of perspective.
That was so great, Scott. I'm going to hand it off to you, but I'm just going to say that was really something that I was already moving with, but that Tonya was able to come in and reshape and refocus me, which was a big help. I'm just telling you that I just really, really appreciate that. Scott, go ahead.
Yeah, I like that positioning. One of the things that I bring up when I work with individuals or businesses, organizations, is the question you want to answer is, what would the world be missing if I didn't exist, my business didn't exist, my department, right? Whatever it is that you're doing. And I don't think that necessarily we can do that ourselves. So we need that outside perspective. And Mike, I'd like to go back to you and talk about kind of your journey, about what are some of the specific things that you found about working with Tonya that just transformed your business from good to great?
I definitely think that she pulled out of me, to what you were saying, she pulled out of me what was really inside. She had a client not long after she worked with me that said, hey, make me a star. And she's like, I don't make stars, I unveil them. And she taught me really what you just said, that the organization that you work for, or the purpose that you want to do, or the world if we want to look at it thoroughly, needs you. That's why you're here. And so she has an ability to bring that out of you. And when she was working with me, I had been successful as an auctioneer. I had been in front of a lot of people. I had a reputation. I needed a reputation to be built in a different area of town, if you will, the specific area I'm at. But I wasn't going to be a broker. I didn't want to. I was like, I don't want to do all that. I don't want to run a business. I just want to own a business. Let somebody else run it. My name's just on the door, type of thing. And she was like, no. And she was able to pull that out of me, only to unveil really what I feel like I was actually put here for, which was to help other people. And so it wasn't really my success. It was what I was going to be able to bring with experience to not only my clients, that differentiated me from every other realtor on earth or broker on earth, but also, more importantly, to those agents that came on board with the company that also needed the same thing. And so I think that BrandFace, if you had to boil it down to what makes BrandFace special, which effectively is Tonya, is her infusion of the ability to show people who they really are. And because when we unveil a brand that she has built, her team has worked with, and I get to collaborate with sometimes. I'm more on the operational side, but whenever we do that, it amazes me when people will be like, that's me. She'll read a stage bio. They'll be like, that's me. And she's like, you just gave me the information. Yeah, I just put it a bow on it for you, put it in a nice box,
Yeah.
and I'll go give it to millions of people and make a lot of money with it. So I hope that answered your question. I think she has that ability. Definitely.
Russ will pick it up in a moment, but it reminded me, we've brought this up before. They asked Michelangelo, how do you take this piece of rock and turn it into a beautiful statue? He says, it's easy. You just take away the pieces of rock. There aren't the man.
Yes,
And
yes. David
this
is
is certainly that unveiling that you're doing.
Yeah, that's so awesome. Well, you know what I want to say is what I love about what you just said there, Michael, and what you do, Tonya, is the fact that, you know, people have this misconception. I think I hear people say, I recreated myself. Well, in my opinion, I'm sorry, you can't recreate yourself. You are you. Now you can reshape and focus yourself. You can get yourself moving in the right direction and position yourself correctly, like you're talking about. But like you said, Tonya, you're bringing the real them out of themselves and just focusing that in. So with all that said, as we wind up the show today, what I need for you guys to do is tell us your gold nugget of what you really want people to remember from today. And then how does everybody get in touch with you?
Okay, I'm going to cheat and throw two out at you real quick.
Okay.
One quote that I love that a client of ours told us about 10 years ago. She said, Tonya, I knew I had it all. I just didn't have it all together. And so you know who you are, but sometimes you don't know how to express that in a way that everybody else understands it in a very concise manner. And I think that's really important, right on the heels of what you just said, Russ. And the other thing is, anybody can build a pretty brand. But unless it's purposeful and profitable, it is pointless. And so you really want to be focused on making sure that representation of you out there gives you the ability to pull in more opportunities and to grow your business and become profitable, because then you can help more people, whether it's free or paid, right? But you've got to grow your business first. And I just got off of a group call where we had that very discussion about, somebody says, well, do I talk about helping people free? And I said, not until you're in a position to help people free. Right. But obviously, absolutely. But get yourself in a better position to do that first, because I knew that person wasn't there yet. Mm-hmm. And so it's really important that profitability be part of the plan.
Yeah. No, that's so good. And how do people get in touch with you?
Yep.
The best way is BrandFaceStar.com.
Yep.
Yeah, that'll get you to everything that you will need to be able to get started on a journey, or just talk about your brand, or talk about where you're at, and Tonya's team can pick it up from there.
Awesome. Well, I'm just going to say that we've had your LinkedIn's ticking along the bottom, and all of that, including your website, is in the comments and the show notes, all there. And it is clickable, everybody. You can click right on it and go right to Tonya and Michael today. And I highly, 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 highly encourage you to do that. If you want somebody who really thinks outside the box, or outside your box, and that's what we all need, you need to link up with them today. And with that, I just want to tell you how much we appreciate you both. You're both amazing. We're going to say goodbye to you here and send you to the green room, but hang tight for just a second, because we'll come back and meet you.
And I do believe people are going to comment on those gold microphones. And as I recall from our conversations before, Michael, that's you, right?
I get to contribute very small things that hopefully make a difference, and you get to pick that up. So thank you so much.
That's a beautiful thing.
You,
every time I see you guys in the podcast and all, everywhere you're at, always draws my attention, because it's so cool.
Oh, you're so kind. Thank you so much, guys.
All right. Thanks so much. We'll see you in just a moment. All right.
Fabulous.
Well, Scott, I'm telling you, we have the most amazing people. It makes us look good every week. And I'm telling you, Tonya and Michael are super amazing. I mean, I just really recommend people talk to them. And again, it
just goes back to hire the professional, right?
Yeah.
Get somebody who's going to give you the right perspective. Reach out to BrandFace. If you're looking at building a brand, or rebuilding a brand, reconstructing it, wherever you want to look at, let's let BrandFace pull that veil away and expose who you really are. And Yeah.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
And really reposition you to where you need to go and who needs to hear your message.
Mhm.
And speaking of messages, if you want to know more about Scott and I, you can go to local.theexperience.video. That has everything about us. Well, not everything, but a lot. And if you just want to go straight to our YouTube page, we'd love for you to subscribe today. Open a separate tab right now. Subscribe at theexperience.video. We appreciate for that. And also, we just want to thank you all for being here. We're going to be here again next Wednesday, 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Don't forget, all of this sits on video podcast replay. You can share it with your friends. And if you actually subscribe to the YouTube page, it makes it real simple to find all the time. So that's a definite plus for you. With that, Scott, I think we're going to say goodbye for today. Sound good?
Always great to hang out with you, Russ.
Oh, ditto for that. So listen, everybody,
Fun.
thanks so much for being here, and just have a blessed and awesome week and enjoy
the experience.
Thanks for tuning in to The Experience live with Russ and Scott. If you enjoyed today's show, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or subscribe on YouTube. See you next time.